Hey everyone, good morning. Did you guys like that? I did put a little countdown on because I'm notoriously late all the time and I apologize. That is one of my total flaws that I need to work on and I've tried for years. So I thought if they know I'm going to be here in 5 minutes, it'll be a little bit better. So how are we? Happy Monday. I just got a fresh cup of coffee. I'm on cup number 2. Um, Hello from Colorado Springs in Florida. Pittsburgh. Hey, Pittsburgh. Hey, Sweden. Hey, West Tennessee. So I wanted to just come on. I want to apologize, first of all, for the weekend rescheduling and then ultimately having to postpone until after Thanksgiving. So what happened was I wanted to get some more things together before I had Kim on. And some of those things were things that other YouTubers had brought up, legitimate arguments or questions regarding her information. And I wanted to play some clips for her and let her respond to them. I want her to be able to like vocally respond to, watching clips instead of just reading questions or reading questions in chat. I want to read to her what other people are saying and let her respond to that. Hey, Kilea. Hello, Reagan. Hey, Amanda from Atlanta. Amanda from Atlanta. But yeah, I wanted to do that. So anyways, I didn't have all of those clips ready and I didn't want to go live prematurely. I wanted to do it right. So I asked her if she would be kind enough to switch to Sunday. And she said, yeah, she didn't mind doing that. And then she remembered on Sunday that she had company coming in from out of town and it was not going to work. So we decided to just wait until after the Thanksgiving holiday. Who knows? We might bring you a Black Friday live. I'm not sure. But it will be right after Thanksgiving. It wasn't put off for any other reason other than what I just told you. So if there's anything else being said, that's why it was put off. But it will happen. And like I said, I think it'll be interesting to God, that truck was loud. I think it'll be interesting to see, her respond live to these legitimate arguments that other YouTubers are making. And there's been a lot of chatter and things like that. So I wanted to be I'm always been transparent with you guys, okay? So that's why I'm live right now. I want to be completely transparent. I've been reading, trust me, I've been reading all the comments left on my videos. There are a lot of people that are upset that I've been deleting comments, but I'm not going to leave up comments that bash me because there are people with open minds that come to my channel and want to watch the videos, but if they read those comments, they're not going to want to watch my content. So it makes no sense for me to keep up negative comments. Why keep making content if you're going to turn away potential viewers by leaving up nasty comments about yourself? So yeah, I'm not going to keep those up on my channel. I want new open-minded viewers to be able to come and read the comments. If they're not bashing, I'm not deleting them. You can have your opinion. I've said this time and time again, but have your opinion respectfully. It's not hard to do. Oh, so I do not, mommy. I don't know how often. I think probably some of her videos might take longer than others, so I really don't know. Yeah, we'll get to the NK cousin thing in a minute. But I just want to address these things and I want to give you guys an open platform to voice your opinions. I mean, I can't tell you how many comments I've seen that say, oh, I'm unsubscribing from you because, this is trash. It's like, okay, you have the, ability to watch whoever you want. and thank you for announcing your grand exit. But what makes my channel trash? That's what I don't understand. I mean, we all want to hear this stuff. At least the ones that really want, really have an open mind and want to talk about the case no matter what it is. Kim has brought things to the table that we've never seen before. And I think a lot of the negativity, especially from other creators, and I mean, I'm not going to ignore it. I know it's there. I've been sent, oh God, link after link after, screen record after screen record of what these other creators are saying about me. And I just really think that they're trying to sabotage what I have going on. And I'm not saying that in a conceited way, but I don't know how else to take it. I heard a video clip yesterday of a creator calling into another creator's live and trying to throw me in a mix that I've not ever been involved in. This Mommy Ramblings, I've never spoken to her. I think the only time I mentioned her on my channel was when her son passed away and I gave my condolences in the beginning of a live. But other than that, never had any issues or confrontations. As a matter of fact, when I was new to YouTube and she was also covering Chris Watts, I went into her live as J is for Justice on YouTube and I said hi because I wanted to see who she was, and I got blocked just for saying hi. So I don't know what her problem is with me, but she seems, and this other creator, Purple, seems to want to put me in this mix of coming after her dead son, which I have no clue about. So I want to set the record straight. If you guys have been listening to this stuff, I get it. But if you have any questions for me, I'm right here. I am very open to answer anything. Anything about, me being a Shanann basher, I'm completely transparent with how I started out feeling on this case, how I felt throughout the last 2 years, and how I feel now. I'm completely transparent. So, yeah, I don't know much about her, honestly. I know, what I've heard and what I've seen and what I've been sent. But that's just, none of that is true. None of that is true. But when I heard this Purple call in, and when I heard her say, Jay's got 200,000 views on a video, I was like, okay, that's what this is about. It's so clear. Stop. Stop. I was blessed, absolutely blessed to have Dre with the drone out at the site, going to the Watts house, helping me put all of this together. We worked our asses off. We're not just sitting in our kitchen going live at 1 a.m. on Zoom. We actually had to sift through probably 50, 60 hours of video. That's not a joke. Oh, content creator. Yeah, that's content because no one else did that. And I say the same thing about Kim's channel. No one else has done that. So I have to guess that these creators really want Kim to think that I'm shady or I'm someone they don't want on her side. I had that clown Mark Gillespie on my channel couple months ago, because him and his sidekick Wendy had promised his sidekick Wendy, had promised a strategic partnership and a podcast with Mark and an analyzation of the Watts case with Mark, which never happened because Mark saw one thing, and he wasn't going to get to Chris through me. He was going to get to Chris through Anna. And Anna's not buddies with me. Thank God. But she is buddies with another true crime channel. So that's why you're seeing what you're seeing. I mean, I'm totally Totally transparent. Tell you whatever you want to hear. Not what you want to hear. I didn't mean that. That sounded bad. I'll tell you whatever you ask. I will tell you the truth. Okay, let me see here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Brittany, it's not even worth it, honestly. But it's just for the people that have been messaging me and asking me questions about what this is about, what that's about, you know, and then people messaging me, telling me I'm a Shanann supporter. The comments on the videos are absolutely vile. Hoping that my family goes through this, hoping that this happens to my family. I can't even say it. You guys know I'm a grandma. I can't even say it. But yeah, people have been saying things about my family too. Just because I'm following a case and I just so happen to have gotten very deep into this case from the beginning. And it started out with Murder Rap Sesh podcast. And that clown Gillespie and his sidekick, if you go to Facebook, I would love for you guys to check this out because it's pathetic. It's pathetic. Gillespie told me to record that call with Chris. It's the only reason I did it. I knew that you could see on Zoom when it was recording. That's why the first 15-minute call wasn't recorded. You don't think I wanted to record it when I heard Chris on the other end of his speakerphone? Gillespie didn't mute his mic. He put his phone by the mic. Okay? So the next call came in after the first 15 minutes. He's like, Jay, you recording this? I was like, no, because I actually thought he was legit at that time. So I was like sitting up straight. I was like, no, because I didn't want him to think I was recording something. I thought he was legit. Like, legit. But he's not. He's a has-been that I think wants to be relevant, but he's just not. And he's got this clown Wendy running his three fucking ring circus over here. So he has a business page for his investigator website. He's a PI. And I don't know what he investigates because everyone that he's worked with has come out and said he's basically a fraud. So, yeah. So he knew he wasn't going to get anywhere through me. But yeah, anyways, go to their Facebook. It's Gillespie Investigations or something. This Wendy felt like she needed to share my old podcast that I did with Kay, which that was how I got started. So what? We made that podcast before Discovery was even released. And we did it in the best way we could. And I wouldn't do it any other way. I listened to those old episodes and I thought we did a damn good job. It's too bad that our personalities clashed as hard as they did because there really was no going back. But we did good. We had a good chemistry. We had a good he said, she said type thing. You know, we didn't always agree. So if she thinks that she's putting me on blast, it's ridiculous. I'm not ashamed of those. Those weren't hidden. They were taken down on a platform, but they still existed on some platforms. But I still had them. So she shared the link to some random podcast player she found it on. And I decided to just do everybody a favor and post it right on YouTube. So go back and listen to, that was episode 16 that she thought she was putting us on blast about, where Kay just got information from the people that she was talking to. I didn't talk to the people she talked to. That was all her. The less I knew, the better. That was my viewpoint. And it was just easier for her and it was easier for me. When you heard that info on that podcast, that's when I heard that info. She called me. I also worked full time at that time. I was on my way home from work. She literally called me. I just got off the phone. I've got this info. We got to record. When I got home, I literally set up because I did all of the technical stuff. I set up and we recorded it. And then I had to edit it. I had no idea. I mean, I knew it was something about the bodies, but I didn't know the details until we went live. And just for your information, Wendy Special, that wasn't the breakup. That wasn't the demise. It wasn't that episode. It was something personal, and it happened behind the scenes. So you know nothing about it. But anyways, back to this Gillespie clown. This is his business page. He's supposed to be this private investigator, professional, ex FBI. I don't know. He's got all these credentials, and when he's interviewed, he just talks in circles around the questions. If you watch that interview he did with that Unmasked channel, he talks in circles. He never answers any questions. It doesn't even look like he's read the autopsy until he read it aloud on the live. Like, dude, we can all read it. We don't need you to read it for us. Explain it to us. And he did a poor job of doing that. And trust me, I'm no medical examiner or even close, but I watch a lot of true crime shows, and I see a lot of forensic experts, and they can explain autopsies in layman's terms, to a common person very easily. Alrighty. So anyways, this is on the professional Facebook page where he, I guess, is thinking he's going to get clients that hire him for PI work, but he's letting this Wendy, which is really, really stupid. He's letting this Wendy share the murder rap sesh, and she says, "Psst, guess what? Jay did this." Okay. Everybody knows that. So that's explaining why you see episode 16 up on my channel. I uploaded it last night. I had it all ready to go. I was actually going to do like a 2-year like replay throwback, because it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years since that podcast started and ended. So I had it ready to go because I was going to re-release it, and I was just thinking how to do it, when to do it, if I should do it. I contacted my ex-partner, no response. Because, you know, we both have channels, and I thought that it would only be fair to reach out. No response. So then when Wendy Special released this yesterday, I was like, oh, okay. I guess now's the time. So that's why I started with episode 16. Not because I want to confuse people, but that's the one they put out. So that's the one that I, in turn, put out. So with that being said, just, you know, be mindful of who you're listening to and what their motives are. And I mean, I've never said anything about mommy ramblings on my channel ever, except to give condolences. If you have watched me, you know this because you would have heard it. So I don't know. I don't know what, I mean, it is what it is. So the nasty comments, I just want to say again, will be deleted, because I'm not going to keep nasty comments up. I'm not about that. I'm not about that. I'm about kindness, disagreeing respectfully, having an open mind, seeing, you know, putting yourself in other people's shoes, playing devil's advocate, all of those things. And if you don't like that, then there's plenty of other channels that will go along with the narrative that everybody or the majority wants them to say, wants them to go along with. And I'm not going to do that. I never have. I haven't in 2 years, and I won't now. And you can call me a flip-flopper or whatever the heck you want to call me, but I definitely know I'm not alone in this case. As things have come out slowly over 2 years, I'm not the only one to have changed my mind a time or two. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Susan Z. But, for some people, I guess it's very hard. I guess it's very hard to have an open mind for some people. Hi, Shane Culkin. Heather Ann. And Heather Ann, you've been around for a long time. Larry Weston, I like you both. I feel for her. She has become more passionate about the case during her grief, which I totally understand. But you know what? That's not my problem. And I'm not saying that in a cold-hearted way, but I shouldn't be her punching bag. I mean, there's one thing to be passionate, but when I heard her say to Purple, because Purple kept saying, I can't believe J and K are coming after your son. There's no J and K coming after anyone. And, and I was like, Mommy Rambling said, no, it's K that's doing it. And I thought, yay, she's being, she's cool. Then she follows that up with, Jay hasn't touched my son yet. Yet? That makes her think that I would. First of all, it's crazy, but I don't deserve that. And I will stand up for myself when I'm directly mentioned like that and put in a light that I have never put myself in on one of my videos or my live streams. So set your clock 15 minutes early, never be late. I know it. I need to do that. My old boss told me to do that. I know you have, Heather. You've been around, so you can vouch, I mean, I just don't understand why we can't have an open mind about every case we follow. And I see a lot of comments, and this is something I was going to ask when I went live with Kim last night. I wanted to ask you guys, I see so many comments about Chris dumping the girls in the oil. And like that to them solidifies his guilt. And I'm not necessarily seeing them say, he didn't call 911. So he's guilt, he didn't call for help. It's the manner in which he disposed of the bodies, which I'm seeing a ton of comments. And I think that the gruesomeness and the vileness of the disposal of the girls is so emotionally like hard for people to even wrap their mind around. Most of us haven't even ever seen those kind of oil drums. I know that I had never really, if I had seen something like that, I didn't pay it any mind, So to me, yeah, like someone who's unfamiliar with any kind of thing like that, that's totally new to me. Like, what's in those tanks? How deep are they? All these questions that we all had. It seems heinous, but would it be any less heinous if he buried him? Or if he threw him in a lake? Or if he hid them in the trunk of a car? The end result is still the same. So I try to like desensitize myself to some things so that I can look objectively. And when I do that, and it took me 2 years to be able to do that with these oil tanks, because I have always said, why the freaking oil tanks? Why? It's so awful. Like if you're going to dispose of your daughters, that is the worst possible way, and I felt that way. And I still do think that that's awful and horrific. But when I desensitized myself, which was hard to do away from the little girls, and thought about what happened and how it happened, I think that Chris Watts worked for Anadarko for a couple years. And he was very familiar with tanks. Those tanks were something he dealt with and looked at every day for 2 years. You know, to him, those were just a routine thing. They weren't, oh my God, I'm going to put my girls in this oil. You know, he ran out of time. He didn't have enough time to dig the 2 other holes. I believe he tried. I think you can see where he tried. He didn't have enough time. People were coming out. The sun was up. He had to do something, and he had to do something quick. You've seen the drone footage. You've seen Dre's drone footage. You've seen the Weld County drone footage. You look around. You're in a panic, and I'm not saying this is fact. I'm saying theoretic. Oh my God, not enough coffee. For shits and giggles, how about that? You look around and there's nowhere to put anything. You can't hide anything. Even temporarily. Where are you going to put something temporarily? Yes, truth bomb. Absolutely. Absolutely. Subway says it would be different. A burial would have been better. He claims to have loved his kids. But I'm just taking you back to that morning. Okay, regardless if you think Chris is 100% guilty of all 3, or if you're on the fence, or if you think he's innocent, I don't care what you think. Either way, there were 3 dead bodies that he had to contend with because he didn't call 911. We don't know why. We don't know what was going through his head. We don't know what that feels like to have maybe killed 3 people, at least have killed 1. We don't know what that's like. I don't know what that's like. I hope that none of you know what that's like. So he takes off with the bodies. This is what I think anyways. I don't think the girls were alive. Takes off with the bodies and he drives to work because he woke up at like 4 for work like he normally did. All of this, I believe, transpired between 4 and 5. And I think he had those bodies loaded up and he was out the door. 5:25 on his way to work. Nothing out of the ordinary. GPS would show he went to work. Got to work, thought he would probably bury them, maybe come back later and do whatever. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't even know if he was thinking that far ahead. But he got to work and he dug Shanann's grave and realized how hard it was to dig in that dirt. And he took quite a while to dig the hole that he barely got her covered up in. I think she was 8 inches down. I mean, no, clearly ran out of time. And then had to, obviously, could not have the girls in his truck when people arrived. It was the only thing there. What else was he going to do? I'm not saying he should have done any of it. Now, don't jump to conclusions. But we're talking about the situation that he was in when he drove to Cervi. You can't deny it. He was in that situation. He was at Cervi with 3 dead bodies. And he had employees, coworkers coming on the way. So when I looked at it that way, I was like, okay, because I always looked at it. I'm very reactive. And I go to the extreme sometimes. So I understand people's passion about this case. And I used to feel like, I don't care what happened. I don't care what Shanann said or did. Look what he put, he put his kids in oil, for Christ's sake. But over the course of 2 years, I've heard more things and we've discussed, and oh my God, I mean, just this case has just gone over and gone over and gone over, and there's always something new, even if it's small, that pokes out, and little Easter eggs here and there that you're like, whoa, never noticed that. Which brings you to more discussions, because we never got a trial. We never got all the evidence laid out in front of us. We never got to see what the prosecution had and what Chris's defense had. I found an old video of Scott Reich from when he first started covering this case. And it was when the DA was sealing the autopsies. And Scott was outraged. He said, they can't do this. This is public information. And then he went on to talk about the Greeley Tribune actually sued Weld County for violating the Freedom of Information Act. And they got those autopsies released. But the DA was dead set on not, no pun intended, on not releasing those autopsies. Why? Autopsies are always released. And Scott Reich even said the only time that he heard of autopsies not being released was in the Columbine shooting. And it was because it was all kids, and it was something that had never happened before. So why in this case was the DA so adamant on sealing those? So those types of questions, right? I think that it happened the way they said. Then that question, those kinds of things pop in my head, and I think something's not right. Something's not right. And then as more and more comes out and is discussed and is analyzed and is picked at and combed through, I feel like there's more and more that's just not right. And when you take all of these little things that are not right, you put them together and you go, okay, now I have some doubt. Now I have some doubt. And I'm not saying that he isn't guilty. I'm not saying that at all. But when things aren't right and someone's rights are violated, or their due process is violated, then I think it's worth taking a second look. I agree, Truth Bomb, 100%. I mean, if you guys, hey, baby D, if you guys were to, I mean, if you can try to think this objectively, which it's really hard, but if you were to sit on a jury, knowing nothing about this case, really, just the fact that you knew that he was convicted, or, yeah, he was convicted, he pled out and he was convicted. And now this 35C came through, blah, blah, blah. And when we end up at a new trial, let's just say, could you sit on a jury where this man could either get the death penalty or life in prison with everything that's been presented to you and not have one doubt? You would feel 100% confident. I mean, really, putting a man's life in your hands is so much different than going into a YouTube live and saying, kill him, put him away for life. Fuck him. He should never see the light of day. I mean, you can't be a juror and have that attitude. So I'm saying, if you are open-minded as a juror and you hear all of these things and they're presented to you, probably even better because they're presented by a defense team, I don't know how you could convict this man or put him to death with all of this lingering stuff. And in a trial, all this lingering stuff would be brought out on the table, no matter what the outcome is. Everything would be out there. Michelle, I don't know if it's strange that they didn't let them see them. I don't think that's something that any grandparent should see, based on how they described the bodies in the autopsy. I can't imagine that. I think they would advise against grandparents looking at that. Truth sets free. I don't care about Cato letters. I really don't. I really don't. I don't care about how many times Chris has told stories. I go back to all this stuff that we've gone over with a fine-tooth comb, and I see there's things that aren't right. I don't know what the true story is, but I would love for the DA to have to lay out all of the evidence that they have. He was adamant he wanted to seal those autopsies. Then this plea agreement comes through. You know, it's like, this case won't ever be put to bed unless there's a trial. And even then, I don't know if it would, but you know what? There's just, see, you guys, there's so many things that don't make sense. If we had a trial, we could watch it. We could see everything for ourselves. We could see people testifying under oath. Testifying under oath of their witness accounts. And if people got caught lying, guess what? Mistrial. Right? If there was a trial and Nosy Nate got up there and said, "Oh yeah, I heard him fighting. It sometimes got really loud. He'd yell at her." Can you imagine what that would do to a jury? That's messed up. That is messed up. So when everybody says, we all need a Nate. No, we don't. We don't need a Nate. Nate talked to Chris maybe twice. And then we have Nate on oxygen. Shanann was a loving mother and Chris was da-da-da-da-da. He didn't even know them. But he could have tainted the entire jury and put a man away without a fair trial. Sorry, but I wouldn't want my brother to go through that, regardless of what he did. And you know what? For the memory of Bella, Nico, Celeste, and Shanann, don't you think the truth should be out there without a shadow of a doubt? Why hide things? Put everything out there and people won't speculate anymore. Because the evidence doesn't lie. That's why we need a trial. I have no idea, Jen. I have no idea what he did. Sandra, shut up. J is for money. Ooh. I mean, really? Yes, people do lie under oath, but if they get caught or there's something that can, Oh, and not only that, let's look at Rochelle Niece in the Scott Peterson trial. Here we are. How many years later? 15? Dude's going to get a new trial. You know why? Because she lied. She lied. So do you really think that D.A. Rourke wanted a trial? Do you think it was because he wanted to spare the victims? No. No, because he knew he couldn't win the case. They didn't have any evidence on Chris. For shit's sake, in the discovery, he never confesses to killing all of them. That was just written in the plea deal. There's always things written in plea deals. That's why they're called deals. Yeah, Nate lied. Nate lied. You know, hybrid, I don't know. I mean, I trust Scott Reich. I really do. I think he's on point. I think he's smart. And I do trust what he said. But it doesn't make me want a trial any less. Just because there may not be much of a chance of one, it doesn't make me desire that there's not a trial. I would go to Colorado and go to the trial every day if there was a new trial. I'd be staying right in that Marriott right there where Almond Joy stayed back in the day when she went to the sentencing and all that for our podcast. So, okay, so let's talk about this. I'm not going to argue about CW. I'm not going to do it. Because I have all kinds of different viewpoints and avenues I go down and talk about. I don't bash Shanann. In the beginning, we did play watch parties in our Facebook group. We did. So what? I don't deny anything that I did. I apologize for things I said that could have been hurtful. And I've moved past that, but whatever. Okay, so anyways, what difference does it make if Nate lied? Because Nate was a witness, and Nate said that he saw an aggressive Chris yelling at Shanann, and that their fights would get very loud. And then he turned around and said that he embellished that. Now, that's kind of a big deal. Yes, Truth Bomb. Truth Bomb, I like you. You need to come on panel sometime. Oh, yeah, he said screaming. Nicole, you're right. He said screaming at the top of their lungs. It was very dramatic. I think that Nate got caught up in the, intensity of things. He was involved because his video, he just got way too in over his head, I think. You're right, Amy. Even if he only murdered Shanann, he still tampered with the children's bodies and caused the unlawful termination of a pregnancy. You're 100% right. But wouldn't it be nice to know for certain? Let's not seal evidence. Let's not hide or destroy evidence. Let's see it all. Let's see it all. We saw in the video I played the other night, the officer that was there on was it the 14th? Yes, and went out on yes. They were looking for scent for the two girls in Shanann, and this officer went out on the deck and went in their little fire pit and pulled out 3 Ziploc baggies of papers that she retrieved from that fire pit. What were those? We never saw that evidence. What else have we not seen? You think Nate was smitten with... Oh, probably. Ew. Carrie Lee, you have been a trooper. Thank you so much. This is why his family doesn't believe he killed the children. What is... Yeah, the fire pit's driving me nuts, too. I mean, 3 Ziploc, like, gallon-size, whatever, quart-size baggies of papers. What in the hell were they? When were they put there? Was there any papers burnt underneath it? Why didn't she take any pictures of the fire pit before she removed the papers and bagged them up? Why were there no photos taken? Why did she crumple up a piece of paper from the fire pit into her gloved hand and put it in her pocket and then bag it? Why did she do those things? And then meanwhile, she's not even talking to Chris about what she's doing. And he's like a deer in headlights. Right, Melody. It doesn't help the case. If you guys haven't seen the fire pit footage, go back to my pre-dog sniff video. Thank you, Kaylee Ruth. Have a great day. Try to have fun in your meeting. Yeah, so I slowed down the body cam footage from the house and we watched it in slow motion. And you can see them get the stuff out of the fire pit. And I had never seen that either. So, yeah, I think it's the pre-dog sniff. It's by the grill on the back deck. Here, I'll get the link for you guys and I'll put it in chat. Let me see. It's very interesting, you know, all these things that we're picking up on. I love it. And I love dissecting a case. And this case has been a case that has stuck with me for whatever reason. And I won't stop. You know, I'm sick of the comments, you know, let it go, let it go. Like, don't. You see the titles. I'm not clickbait. Everything that is in my title is spoken about. That's another thing that comments have been saying. Clickbait, 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 clickbait. But here is the video that has the fire pit. I just put it in chat. Is it on the new one, Nicole? Oh my gosh, I don't even know. Is it on the new one, the first one, or the second one? What's going on here? Echo. Echo, echo. Let's see. That is not a fire pit. It's a table that the kids' wet shoes were drying on. The cop white shoes with a cloth so the dogs could get a scent and putting the cloth in plastic bags. Nope. If you watch my video, she unfolds clearly a piece of paper. Thank you, Shane Culkin. I will get myself a coffee. After I get off here, I'm going to go walk my dog. I have a cool little coffee shop right on the corner. It's called the Sweet Brunette. So thank you, Shane. Cheers. You are not blocked, Andrea. We did not do last night's live. I explained it in the beginning. So no, they clearly opened up a piece of paper that was folded like it would fit in your pocket. And she opened it up and looked at it, read whatever was on it, crumpled it up and put it in her pocket. Hey, DS, welcome. But there is the link. I want you guys to watch it for yourself. And, you know, at the very least, you know, where is that stuff? Hi, Andrea and Brunch Mom and Weezer. Got any more members? But I think she picked it up a table. Bye, Ashley. Also, what was in the truck? What truck? Susan Steele, welcome to the fam, the J for Justice family. Thank you so much. And thank you, Andrea P. She just put the dog footage in chat. So if y'all want to watch that, I highly suggest it. I know it's long, but yeah, it's worth watching because we catch things in there like if it's not a fire pit, I don't know, but there's papers out there. And she collected 3 bags of papers. She may have done a cloth as well. She did go back out a couple times for evidence. Aiko, you can rewind the video, honey. I have that function on so you can rewind to the beginning. Yes, TH, that is what we are discussing right now. Hey, Amy Gonzalez, welcome, girl. Do I think he put her in the truck bed? I've thought that. And the only reason I've thought that is because I've seen the pictures of Chris's back seat. And I just don't see how, in the discovery, it says that he had these large, it said large bins. In the back. So if he had large bins back there, Bella and Cece and Shanann, I don't know. That's why I thought maybe he put her in the bed, and that's why he backed up the truck like he did. Like with the ass end in there, thinking no one would see him slide her through the tailgate. But I don't know. I mean, anything's possible, I guess. Hey, Dre, good morning. It's early for my Dre. It's only 8 o'clock in Colorado. We've just been talking, Dre, discussing some things. I addressed some things. Here is, I'm going to pull up a picture right now of the back of Chris's truck so you guys can see. And this is the actual truck. This is kind of just a catch-up live, just kind of going over whatever. So that's what we're talking about, just stuff. Okay, here we go. Now, as my little granddaughter would say, now, there's the back seat. Okay, look at the floorboard. He said that Shanann was on the floor in there. I don't know, man. That's a pretty narrow floor, if you ask me. That's why I've always wondered if he didn't put her in the bed of the truck. Because that's really small. I mean, if you look over, like, the driver's seat is up further, but it's still really small. Unless he was freaking hugging the steering wheel. But then they said that there were bins back there. I wish I had a picture of the bins. And where the bins were. So they say they have this confession and all of this is true. There's just no possible way that it happened this way. She wouldn't have fit there. So it's just all these little things that add up to be odd. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys know I'm not an a-hole. Like, I'm not going to be a jerk just to be a jerk. Like, I seriously think that this deserves a second look. You know? Let's leave these up. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me go back to chat. Do you think he could have fit Shanann, Bella, Cece, and 2 large bins in this back seat here? I mean, that's what I mean by taking everything in and just being open-minded and open to seeing the actual evidence. Evidence. Sorry, I get kind of worked up sometimes. Like, okay, everybody hates Chris. Welcome to the J is for Justice family. Paula Walking, welcome to the J is for Justice family. Hi, Sandy. It was in Discovery that he had, I think, 2 large bins back there, but they didn't have like measurements. It just said large plastic bins, probably had work stuff in them. Thank you, Pure Love, and thank you, Weezer, and thank you, Melody, and everybody else. Kathy, he couldn't put them all together because he didn't have time. He didn't have time to dig holes, and he didn't plan this, obviously. If he planned it, he probably would have had holes for all of them. I don't think there's really any significance. I know it's horrific, but what I was trying to get at is if you look at it objectively, I don't think there's really any significance in the oil per se versus burying him. I think he was just panicking and trying to get rid of the bodies. As horrific as that is. But he didn't have time to dig holes. And you look around Survey. What do you see? Ragweed? Where are you going to hide something? And I'm not saying he should have been hiding anything at all. I have actually, you know, obviously none of this should have happened, but it did. And we had him at Survey with 3 dead bodies. And he did what he did with them. Hi, Angela. He did what he did with them because he was hiding them. So I think if Shanann was in a bin, well, I guess I can't say that because who knows if they would have found that evidence. Why would he need to unload, then load again those bins from into his truck? It seems suspicious. I don't know if he did unload bins. I just know in the Discovery, when they took possession of the truck, that there were at least 2 large black bins in the back seat. He probably kept like tools and shit in there. I don't know. I've missed you too, Angela. Welcome back. No, those seats don't come out. I don't believe. It's an F-150. No. Yeah, let me see if I can pull up actually in the Discovery right now where they talk about those bins. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can pull it up. Oh, he did carry out at least 2 containers to his truck on the cam. Did you guys see all those meds too in those bins in the basement when I slowed it down? That cop was really interested in that. She took several pictures of all those meds. Okay, here we go. I think I have found it. All right, let's see. I think it's right in here somewhere. You know what? Hold on. Let me go to another thing here. You know, that's another thing too. His Wisconsin confession, he says that that Bella and Cece were sleeping on and off in that back seat. I don't think so. Okay, let's see here. Where did I see that? I want to say this is searchable, so let's see. I like to be able to show you guys. I don't want to just say, oh, hey, it said there were bins. Like, I want to show y'all there were bins. But this is not searchable. Okay. Here's the index. Hang on one second. If you guys have not Seeing this index is awesome. Let me make this bigger. Reddit. I love Reddit. I've never really been on Reddit until recently. I've started reading stuff. But there's, if you haven't seen it, the link to the full discovery, and then there's also an index. So let me see here. Well, he had to put the bins in the truck in the morning because I just saw in the discovery he carried at least 2 bins out. Shoot, I wish, there's so much in here. Did you guys see it in any of these things I'm scrolling through? Oh, I also have an interview that I did not put in the timeline either of a lawyer that Shanann spoke to when she was in New Orleans in April of 2018. At the end of April, she went on the Thrive trip to New Orleans without Chris, and her and a friend met a lawyer who was originally from North Carolina, and she was asking him about Colorado law and custody and divorce and things like that. And I found that interview and I was like, God, in the beginning, I didn't pay any attention to this guy, but it's very interesting. So I'm going to upload that as well. So I'm thinking it's got to be in that initial confession area that I was just at, which is page 532 in the discovery. I hate documents like this. It's so much. Okay. Page 711. Thank you, Wanda. See, why do I have to scroll through this? I clearly am not good at this kind of stuff. So 711. Yeah, Andrea P., I agree. It's creepy. Paula still thinks that they were packing to move based on the dog live. All right, let's go back to 711. I went too far. Chill out, Jay. Okay. In the bed of the truck. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Thank you, Wanda. This is awesome. Yay for Wanda. Da 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 da. Okay. In the bed of the truck were affixed tools and fuel tanks, hose implements, as well as miscellaneous hand tools, which included a round point shovel, a square point shovel, and a sickle, were identified and collected. Also within the bed of the truck was a partially full gas can and a fire extinguisher. Located in the front passenger compartment of the truck was a roll of black plastic bags. Those were observed and collected from the front passenger side floorboard. The front driver's seat and front passenger seat were covered with canvas seat covers. I'm wondering if they collected those seat covers. That would be pretty important, right? I don't remember seeing any seat covers as evidence. From the steering wheel, a possible DNA swab was collected. In the rear seat, there were 2 large plastic bins that contained miscellaneous work materials, safety equipment, personal items, maps, and paperwork. A pair of black rubber boots were located on the floor behind the front passenger seat. Beneath the rear seat were additional miscellaneous tools. Adhesive lifts were collected from the rear seating area and floor. Located in the front passenger side door panel was a green disposable cigarette lighter. And that's it for Chris's truck. So let's see, did they take the bins? They took the boots. They got a trace lift from the center console, a trace lift from the rear seat driver's side work truck, and from the rear seat passenger side. They took the lighter. Miscellaneous paperwork from the Lexus. Those bins are not listed from what I can see on here. Interesting. That's the evidence log. Wouldn't you think those bins would be on the evidence log? We never saw the photos of the suspected hair in the thief hatch either. That's evidence they took. Just going over this again. I'm not seeing where they confiscated these bins. Anyhow, there you go. So 2 large bins with tools in them were in the back. He may have moved them maybe after, I don't know, but I still think she wouldn't have fit on that floor. But that's just my opinion. In my opinion only. So anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about this NK cousin thing, because I don't know anything about it. I mean, is this like some kind of joke? Because I've seen a lot of comments, but I personally have not watched it. I think Dre saw some of it. Did you, Dre? Dre, do you want to call in? All right, there's Watts's truck. I'm going to leave that up for people that are still watching, that are a little bit behind. Let's see. Oh, it's a joke for sure. Like, the girl's not even trying to be serious. Always wondered if he originally got bins from Shanann's office. It looked like everything had been dumped on the closet floor. Yes, DS, we can see you. Oh, no, I don't want to play it right now, Andrea. It's too early for that shit. They're doing a live tonight. Is this on YouTube or Facebook or what? Yeah, Dre sent me a screenshot of her. It was kind of crazy. Hey, I want to welcome everybody who's just joining. We have 400 people in here. Welcome. Happy Monday. Hope your week is going to go great and hope you're having a great Monday. I wanted to come on here, clear up some things, take some questions. So at this point now, I'm looking at chat and I want to take any questions. If you guys have any questions, any comments, if anybody's in here that has made comments in the comment section, you're upset. If you want, now's your time. to talk this out. Now's your time to tell me how you feel. When I'm here, I can respond and hopefully explain why I'm just not a jerk. So hopefully I can explain things and make you see why I do the things I do on my channel. Yeah, Rain Dancer, I can't do that. I can't. I can't. It's all just lies, bullshit. You don't think they're smart enough. Stephanie says, I don't think they're smart enough to even think this up. I believe it's either NK or a relation to her. Now, why would NK go through the trouble of changing her name, getting a new identity, moving to a new area, having to start her life over, only to go on YouTube Live with some cousin of hers that looks like, I don't know what. And a lot of people can actually sound like NK if they want to. And a lot of people do sound like NK just naturally. It's called vocal fry. Amanda McMahon had a little bit of it going on. Crypto Catherine J, have you or would you consider writing to Chris Watts to request a visit? I don't really want to visit with Chris Watts, to be honest. I don't know what I would say to Chris Watts. I'm just, you know what? I'm just content with talking to people who talk to him and giving you guys, relaying you guys that information. I don't know if I could handle a visit with, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, Heather Ann. I just don't see what Shanann would gain from killing her children. CW had everything to gain a new life with NK and no responsibility. I just don't think it's that deep, Heather Ann. I think that emotions were high. I think that it was a heat of the moment thing, regardless of who did it. Because honestly, those two people, let's face it, we can't see either one of them doing it when we watch those videos. It's crazy. And I think that's why everyone is so hung up on this NK, because we look at Chris and Shanann and we're like, neither one of them could have really honestly done this. I mean, you can't deny the fact that little Cece is on Chris's hip all the time. And to think that he wanted to throw her in oil, I just don't believe that. I believe that this was something that happened, spur of the moment, rage, emotions had been building up for a long time. If Shanann was speaking to a lawyer back in April about divorce and custody, what was going on? Why was she wanting to get pregnant? Because she got pregnant right at the end of April as well when she had that conversation with this lawyer. Why? All these unanswered questions. I never said Shanann killed her kids. Don't put words in my mouth. Do not put words in my mouth. Okay, let me go back. You asked a question. I answered it honestly. I'm sorry if it's not the answer you wanted. Jay, people won't tell you you're a jerk here. They'll run out. Yeah, probably. But I'm giving them the opportunity. Does NK have a child by Christmas? I can't even talk about that. It's ridiculous. Dre says, I would like to interview him. I want to see his body language now versus the porch interview. Yeah, it would be interesting. Yes. But I don't think I'm ready to even talk about that. I don't even know if that would ever even happen anyways. Thank you, Crypto, for asking a question. Let's see. Alyssa says it wasn't heat of the moment. It was planned, calculated, and he remained calm. You really don't know how he acted, really. I mean, people are in shock. I mean, you can't say that someone like Chris Watts is going to kill 1 to 3 people and not be in shock. So I don't know. I thought that Shane Carey had something to do with Heidi Broussard's disappearance because of how he acted. And he had nothing to do with it. So we can't go off that. We can't. Everybody's different. Truth Bomb says, SW revenge murder suicide could have been her plan. She was losing everything and was hopeless. See, I'm not sure how hopeless she was. Nicole Atkinson knows her state of mind. She was with her all weekend. That's why Nicole Atkinson was so frantic so early in the morning. She had just dropped Shanann off at 2. She was back at her house around 9. She knew something could have went awry. Yes, you're right, Catherine. She could have been trying to save the marriage and getting that bond back. And it's ironic that Chris talks about that in his relationship deterioration video. He talks about sometimes having a baby can improve a relationship. Nicole said it had to be rage in the heat of the moment. He was talking to the realtor about a new house for the family. Right. And I feel that it's interesting, too, to note that Shanann was commenting on things like, he just cares about the girls. He's happy with just the girls. He doesn't want this baby. To me, that doesn't sound like a man who's planning and has planned already and concocted to kill his girls. And why would he tell NK he needed to get a 2-bedroom because of the girls? Why would they talk in detail about bunk beds and how it was going to be when he was in his apartment? And why would he change his work schedule to accommodate having the girls? I mean, all these are legitimate questions. And I think about them and I'm like, damn, now I need more answers. And that's just where I go. And Vanessa, you can call me a flip-flopper all you want, but at least address me by my name and address me directly. But I don't consider that flip-flopping. I consider that taking in new information and analyzing. Ooh, who's that, Kim? Jay, the seats were pushed back for evidence pictures. Oh, okay. Thanks for clearing that up. Well, the passenger side looks like it's reclined back and it's further up than the driver's side. So that's why I thought. That's why I thought that. Kim was all lurking. So people are really trying to discredit me to you, Kim. They don't want you talking to me. Cracks me up. Well, I don't know if there's any other questions that you guys have for me. I don't want to drag this out too long. But I did want to come on live because of the weekend and explain what's going on. And Kim and I are going to reconvene after the holiday. I hope everyone has a wonderful turkey day. I will be spending it with my little granddaughter, Sophia. Hard to believe that she's going to be 2 in March. And I'll share some pictures, but I hope everyone has a great turkey day. Little Fia, I know. So Dre and I have worked hard. I want to tell you one more thing before I sign off here. Dre and I have worked hard on this case that, wow, is unsolved since 1991. And it's the case of Angela Hammond. And if you're in the Patreon, I'm going to be releasing and dropping a video in there today, just after I get off here. It's a little sneak peek preview at what we have done with this. It was a case that I saw on Unsolved Mysteries, and it grasped me for some reason. I think there's many reasons why. But Angela Hammond disappeared from a phone booth about 11 o'clock at night. While she was talking to her boyfriend on the phone, he heard the abduction. He drove. He was only a few minutes away. He was like a few blocks away. He jumped in his truck and drove up past the truck that had abducted her. And I'm not going to tell you the rest because it's absolutely crazy. But we have put a lot of time, and then we interviewed Angie's best friend, Kyla, who was with her right before she went to the payphone to call her boyfriend, Rob. So we talked with Kyla 30 years later. This is still unsolved. They never found Angela. And we sat down with Kyla, and it's an amazing interview. She's an amazing woman. You guys are going to love it. So if you guys are in the Patreon, pretty much after this, I'm going to drop that preview. So I'm looking to release that tonight. Yes, Amy Gonzalez. It is. It is. It is. So yeah, we have an interview with Kyla, her best friend. She's so sweet. She's amazing. Please come on and give your comments, give your support to Kyla. Share that video out because somebody knows something. And like Kyla said, she just needs one person. She just needs one person. They've lived for 30 years wondering where Angela is. She was pregnant when she disappeared. She was about 4 months pregnant. So stay tuned for that. And absolutely, Kim, 100%. I want to see everything. I don't give a damn who did what. But after 2 years of speculating and all of this crap that has come out in between, we need to see the facts. And I appreciate Kim for bringing us a whole new light, a whole new way of us looking at this case. You can't deny it's interesting. No matter what your view is, you can't deny it's interesting. No one's ever done a reenactment. No one has ever discussed in the raw like she has. So, Kim, I give you props because you got to have thick skin to do what you're doing. Trust me, I know. I've really developed thin skin over the past 2 years. So, anyways, I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Whether you agree with me, whether you don't agree with me, I appreciate you being respectful. I didn't see a lot of people that are disagreeing in here, asking questions or giving me their comments, but I'm sure they'll be in the section below. And if you're rude, you're going to be deleted. Sorry. All right, you guys, I love you all. Thank you to the new members that joined today. Thank you, Shane Culkin, for the super chat. And thank you for coming in, Shane. I know you're a busy dude. And Dre, thank you for all your help with the Angela case. I can't wait to put this out. I don't know. Dre and I make an amazing team, and I think that you guys are going to love it. So have a good day, and I'll see you later, guys.